Hello, everyone, and today it is week 20 Speak College Ready seminar. So before we begin, here are some group learning agreements that's on the screen. And there, as always, be present and pay attention, respect people's stories and contributions, and to take notes when it is necessary. All right, and as always, our vision for the Y Scholars program is to elevate people's growth mindsets so we all achieve higher ambition. And our mission for Y Scholars program is to guide first-generation high school students to pursue and obtain a college education. All right, and to continue, the purpose of these Be College Ready seminars are to guide you towards being ready for college, build your portfolio to prepare for college and scholarship applications, and to increase your awareness of who you are and what direction you want to go. All right. So to prepare for this session, I ask for you to open your YSP journal or any Google Docs you can pull up and to take notes for your assignment. So to start off with, we're going to review what a resume, the 3 rules of the resume. You guys should have it memorized by now, to be honest, because I've been repeating it so often. But the first one is, who are you? So when you're writing your resume and you're putting in descriptions for your leadership and experience, try to include answers to these questions, which are, what are your specialties? What do you value? And where are you heading? So an example is, if you're a tutor, so what's your specialty? Do you tutor a specific subject? Do you tutor specific age groups? Right? What do you value? So why are you a tutor? Are you trying to give back to the community? Are you doing it for the money? Right? And where are you heading? So with this experience, where are you trying to go to? So if you're a tutor, where do you think you can go with this? I want to become a teacher. Do you want to become a chemist or something like that, right? And then the second one is to show me, not tell me. And you can do it by using the numbers rule. So including numbers into your description. So instead of saying, I tutor at this place, you can say, I go in twice a week, 2 hours every day, 2 hours every time I go, and I tutor 3 students from 9th to 12th grade, right? So those are numbers that makes it more specific, and it shows your more specific skill set sometimes and your commitment. And another way to show instead of tell is accomplishments, right? So you show them your award, you show them your honor. You show them your honor roll instead of telling them you're a good student, right? And then recognitions are also like awards, right? But remember to have legit ones and not to put something like nicest hair or cutest smile award, especially if you're not applying to be a model. Like, these won't help. And to review, we talked about references, the past video in week 19 Speak College Ready seminar. So remember that strong references are people who knows you, right? They know your ethics, they know your values, they know your work quality, they respect you, and they like you, right? It's really important that they like you, because if you give a reference to this job you're applying for, but this reference absolutely does not like you, they're gonna say, oh, this person is a really bad worker, he did X, Y, Z, so don't hire him, right? So it is important that they like you. And it's also important for them to know you, because if they ask your reference, oh, how is this person in general? Has he done a specific project that has showed his specific skill set? And if they can't answer it, then they don't think they're a really good reference and they're not really reliable. And on the other hand, a weak reference here, like we said before, will be family members, friends, and people you don't really have a connection or a relationship with, right? So family members and friends seems really unprofessional sometimes, especially if you guys don't have like a work relationship, and they're also a weak reference because they are most likely going to be biased. All right, now to jump into today's session, we will be talking about establishing your experience for summer planning. Because summer is coming up, so our session's objective today is to rethink your idea of a proactive and productive summer, and to understand ways to be proactive and productive for the upcoming summer. So in your WASP journal or in a Google Doc or notes, wherever you would like, what does proactive and productive mean to you? And what does proactive and productive summer look like? You have a picture right here that can show you, that has some options, right? Like playing soccer, walking a dog, surfboarding. So take some time and write your answer down. And then I'll share mine. So to me, a proactive and a productive summer is not staying home all day and just watching Netflix, playing games. And it is instead like working, interning, working on yourself, like taking classes, etc., etc. Like I'll go more into it later. But for now, that's what my definition, my general definition of what a proactive or productive summer look like. So time for planning. So when you're thinking about planning, think about future folks, right? So future folks like college admissions, employers, program managers. So think about them when you're planning for yourself in the future. So if you're thinking like them, right? So if you're a college admission officer, how are you going to be evaluated? They look at your GPA, right? Maybe they look at your SAT or ACT score. But what else are they going to look at besides your grades? And just these numbers. Okay, pause this video and take a couple bullet points down. So what do you think it is? So to give a brief answer, you're typically being evaluated based off your essays too, right? And then there's usually a section for you to write your extracurriculars. Like you just write a brief description of each thing. And you can usually copy and paste it from your resume, to be honest. So that's why we've been having you work on your resumes. And we will dive more into it right now. So if you're thinking like future folks, they want to know if you have leadership skills. What does leadership mean? So this picture here said empower people, inspire people. You're leading change. You are the change maker and you're sharing your vision with other people. So a more formal definition for this is that leadership is the actions you take and not the positions you hold. So an example of this would be someone is a president of a club, but they can be a mediocre leader because they aren't doing much in the club, but you can be a member of that club and be very proactive and you're just participating a lot. You're planning these events, you're gathering people together. Because of all these actions you take, you are the leader, right? It's not the position you hold. So that's the example I have for you guys. And then the next thing your future folks want to look at are your long-term commitment. So when you think of commitment, what's the first thing that comes up to your head? So when I think of commitment, I think about like relationships, right? Like relationships working out are usually because you're really committed and you promise to stay with each other, blah, 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 blah. But a formal definition of long-term commitment are, well, not a formal definition, but we're just using this to apply. So people can assume that if you've been involved with an activity for a while, that it's something you genuinely care about. Do you agree or disagree? I'm so sorry. This thing keeps coming up. Okay. So why is it that long-term commitments show that you genuinely care? So you can be holding a position for a really long time. Let's say you're president of, what's a club? Presidents of a culture club, right? Let's say Asian club or something. And you don't really care about it. So you're in and out of the program, right? So you're in and out of the club. You go to meetings once in a blue moon. Does it show that you care? No, right? Versus someone who goes to their weekly club meetings, they go to all the events, they create events, right? These show your long-term commitments, and it shows that you're passionate and you're willing to put in the work because you believe that you're doing something right and you love what you're doing. So that's why your future folks like to look at long-term commitment, because your employer doesn't want you to change the job after they give you like a month of training. So you got a month of training and you're like, oh, I don't like it. And then you just leave. So a month of training went to waste and they paid you for it. So that's why they like to see your commitment. And the next one is specialists versus generalists. So we think of specialists or generalists. What do you think of? What do you think the differences are? So a specialist makes you stand out, and a generalist is basically someone who does a lot but not doing anything really great. So an example would be a worker who knows how to do everything, but they're not good at everything. Like, people still have to help them. They have to teach them what to do. They're still making the same mistakes over and over again, versus a specialist who's just really good at this one thing, and everyone goes to them for help because they know they can figure it out. So it's something like that. So if you have one or two interests you want to pursue deeply, for example, debate, then you can find lots of ways to explore, right? Like youth and government, debate club, competitions, mentoring the younger debaters, writing an op-ed for the newspaper, etc. So this really makes you stand out, and it shows that you are passionate and you have a lot of expertise in this field. So an example of this is, just that. But if you do choose something you don't like, you can switch and become something different, like a different specialist after exploring it, right? So this one is initiative. Future folks want to look at initiatives. So what do you think initiatives ties in with? Like the topics we just went over. So initiative is tied in with leadership. So it's basically, what are you doing in the activities you're involved in? So to me, initiatives is like this picture right here that's shown, taking the first step, even if it's a baby first step. So you are attending this seminar every week because we told you. So you're watching this video because someone told you to, but you can choose to speak up and engage in discussions. And you can choose to do the assignments after watching these videos. You can choose to help clean up the tutoring rooms after hours. And by demonstrating an instance of time that you showed this initiative is what these future folks are looking for, basically. So if something you can take initiative of is, let's say, for example, you're really passionate about poetry. You can start a poetry club at your school. You can email your poems to newspaper for them to publish it. You can start your own blog, etc., etc. So these are all examples of taking initiatives and what the future folks are looking for. This is the second to last one, but they're looking for potential. Why is it important for your future folks to look at potential? Let's say a college admissions officer is like, they're looking at your potential. So when they say they're looking at potential, what are they exactly looking for? I would say they're looking to see if you fit into the campus, if you fit within the school values and beliefs, and if they feel like you belong in the community, right? So potential is your activities are a reflection of your interests and priorities, and therefore an indication of the potential person you could be in your new community. So when you do activities, like when you write in your leadership role, so one of your activities is probably Y Scholars Program. So how does this show potential? So this shows potential because it shows that your interests and your priorities are getting to college and brightening your future, right? Because we offer all these great resources to you and you're using it. So it shows potential that you're gonna use resources and try to reach out to more people and try to get better and improve what's in your way. So you're planning for a better future for yourself. And this is an indication of this is what you're gonna most likely do when you are in this new community. Okay, so now we're talking about how to create an impactful summer. So one way to create an impactful summer is to join summer programs. Like a student I just talked to at first said he's gonna join a coding program that's offered by Google. And if you search online, I'm sure there's a bunch of summer programs you can apply to. And these summer programs typically focus on specific topics for high school students like you guys. And the purpose is to help develop your interest and increase your understanding and skills of the subject matter. Let's say you go in being very interested and then you do this entire program and you feel like you don't like it at the end, it's totally fine because it is just for you to explore your interest. Second way is by taking college courses and programs. So many colleges and universities across the country offer summer programs and classes for you folks like high school students. And these intensive academic programs allow high school students to take college level courses, experience living on campus, meet students with the same interests around the country, and even earn college credit. So some example would be research programs that are offered. I know USC offers them to high school students. And some other programs will be fly-in programs. So if you apply, sometimes the colleges would pay for your plane ticket or your mode of transportation to get you to their campus so that they can give you a tour. They can have someone talk to you about the college, right? So this is an impactful summer because you're being proactive with your education and your future. So the third one is community college classes and online classes. So I took a lot of community college classes in high school. It was really great because I knocked out a lot of general education requirements, so I wouldn't have to take them in college. And besides that, those classes I took at a community college or CC, they overlapped with the high school classes as well and high school requirements as well. So I just had to take this one community college class and it fulfills my college education, my college requirement, and my high school requirement. So you kill two birds with one stone. And there's also online courses that, like I said before, like there's programs online that you can just submit or you can apply to. And there's also ways you can do it is to go on sites like Coursera, edX, Academic Earth. They typically offer free or really low priced courses on topics like biology, business, tech, law, history, and physics for you to study. All right, the next one is internships and jobs. So obviously when you're interning, you're working on professional skills like communication, organization, analytical skills, problem-solving skills, etc., etc. And usually when you take on an internship, you can explore your interest a bit more and see if you can imagine yourself being in that field. It is honestly an excellent way for you to gain experience in a field you want to pursue in college. And these opportunities are usually given to high schools through research or other ways, right? And the last one is community service. This is also my favorite one because I did a lot of community service in high school, and usually it's really easy to get into. You usually don't have to apply. You just go up, show up, fill out a form, and you can start serving your community, right? So this is proactive because you're giving back to your community and usually gaining experience on whatever you're doing. And there's also a high school, I'm not sure if all high schools have it, but some high schools have a volunteer requirement. It's to fulfill an X amount of hours. So this would be great for you folks out there who needs that. And using your summer vacation to spend more time on meaningful community service projects to which you may not have time to sustain consistent commitment during the school year. So find a cause that you believe in and develop your understanding of service. People who are giving tend to live a more fulfilling life. So there's that. So now that we've talked about all these different ways to have an impactful summer, think about what you want to do this summer. Now that you have your resume completed, where would you want to submit that to? So pause this video really quick and think about what you want to do. Just write down a couple bullet points, or just take down a couple notes. I already listed so many stuff. You can search on Google to look for more specific things you want to do. All right. That is it for today. And here is the closing slide. So feel free to email me if you ever have any questions or you want me to look over your application, your resume, whatnot. And your assignment is down below right here. And it is not by yet because I want to show you guys the assignment. Okay. As always, the assignment is to answer these questions based off what I just talked about from the video. There are 7 questions. Shouldn't be too hard. I believe you guys got this. And that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching the video.